Campbell, 6'2", 228. He is bigger than every one of the Louisville linebackers.
You'll watch the offensive line of Tennessee with a good takeoff, how big they are. They actually showed pass on that play the left guard did to bring up the tackle. That's the one item that opened that play.
Gain of 12 for Campbell. We're down to 2:20 in the half. Stewart on the toss. Campbell, nice block in front of him, and Stewart breaks it out down to the 25-yard line.
I don't know if Andy Kelly checked that off, but he went outside against a heavy blitz by Louisville inside.
Gain of 25 for Stewart.
Watch this play. You see the blitz coming from Louisville. Everybody's inside. They had to have a bust. They got outflanked, and that opened it up for James Stewart to get outside. A bust on the defensive part of Louisville.
Since Stewart has come into the game, 4 carries, 45 yards. First down, Volunteers. Stewart again. More room to run. Down to the 18-yard line. Cully, the middle linebacker, knocked him down. He's out of Geneva, Illinois. Stewart is a senior, averaged nearly 10 yards a carry in high school. 25 touchdowns his senior year. And Tennessee will use a timeout, and Andy Kelly will go over to Johnny Majors and talk about this one with 1:38 to go first half. This is really the only sustained drive that Tennessee has had tonight.
It's been a good drive, and it's all been on the ground. They've just turned it over to the big offensive line, the running backs, but Louisville has had a couple blitzes on where they went inside and just got outflanked on the outside of their defense.
ESPN's NFL Game Day will come your way every Sunday at noon Eastern Time. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Joe Theismann will bring you pro football's most comprehensive pregame show. Everything you always wanted to know, and maybe even a little bit more. And at 7, Chris and TJ are back with Prime Time, where you'll see highlights of all the day's games. And Tom Jackson, class of 72. I'm sure tuning in tonight. TJ, good luck to your Cardinals. This drive, 6 plays, 64 yards, all on the ground, and Stewart has eaten up 52 of it.
Ty Smith, the defensive coordinator, told me the other day that he has a young defense, so he expects big plays against him like he did early in the game, but he also expects them to make some big plays, and they need to try to make one down here. The clock's in their favor. 1:38
left in the half. Tennessee up 7-3. If you joined us late, they scored on a Carl Pickens bomb. Louisville countered with a field goal. That's the story. Hayden and Campbell are the backs. Hayden gets the carry and stutters across the 15 to the 14-yard line for a first down. Tom Cavallo made the tackle.
Johnny Majors is showcasing his 2 rookie tailbacks. That was Hayden on the carry after James Stewart brought it most of the way.
Quite a luxury to have 3 guys that you can run in and out of there to be your main ball carriers. Of course, he lost Chuck Webb and Tony Thompson from a year ago. Kelly, play action. Can't find anybody. Dumped out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Ben Sumter played it very, very well. Well, they ran, then they go to play action, and it doesn't work.
Well, the coaches that are up here probably saw the defensive left end, Brian Hayes, trying to get overactive to stop the run and felt they could get Andy Kelly outside. Not a bad call by Johnny Majors. He's got 1:13 on the clock, but he still has 2 timeouts, so he can milk this 1:13 and get himself in good position.
2nd and 8 for Tennessee, and Kelly is going to have to use another timeout.
Just noticed Howard Schnellenberger trying to get that crunch zone going.
This is the enclosed end of the stadium that Tennessee is driving into, which makes it far louder. And of course, the stadium seats 39, and you can see people standing everywhere. They expect anywhere up to 42,000 tonight. And it is a tribute to what Howard Schnellenberger has done with this program. You know, I don't think anybody, when Howard Schnellenberger took this job, Mike Godfrey, thought it was a rational decision on his part. I know his family didn't. They said, Howard, you've done it again. You're crazy. But he knew what he was doing. He wanted to take the worst football team in the country, which is his term, and build it into a national champion, and he's about 2/3 of the way there.
Really, people don't realize that when he went into Miami was in a similar situation. They were down. They didn't draw a lot of people to the Orange Bowl, and he built that program. So once you build a program, he talked about his background with Bear Bryant and playing for Bear and playing for Blanton Collier, and it prepared him for these kind of rebuilding situations. He's an outstanding coach.
Critical part of this game, 1:13 to go in the half. Tennessee up 7-3 and driving. 2nd and 8. Hayden on the draw. And Louisville collapses on him. Second effort gets him to the 10. Cavallo made the tackle again.
They spread out the formation, so they made Louisville think it was a pass, and then they gave the ball in the draw to Aaron Hayden. Tom Cavallo makes the play, number 41. 47 seconds to go.
3rd and 5. Kelly, play action. Throws to the goal line, stopped at the 1. It's complete. It will be another first down and stop the clock with 36 seconds to go. Kevin Gaines made the tackle on Pickens. 1st and goal, Tennessee.
Clock starting right now.
Hayden is the single setback.
Timeout, Louisville.
And now Louisville will use a timeout to stop the clock to set the defense.
They need to get some substitutions in on their goal line defense.
Well, the situation is this. 35 seconds left. Tennessee can run a play because they have 35 seconds left and a timeout remaining. So they don't have to worry about the ball carrier not being able to get up and not being able to run another play. What would you like down here on 1st and goal?
Well, the way they're controlling the line of scrimmage, you have to go right at Louisville in the play where they're going to give the ball to the tailback and let him go over the top. Louisville have a hard time. They're going to have to move around a little bit, try to get penetration into the backfield to try to stop him from going over the top.
Chris Fowler will join us at halftime with highlights of all the Major League Baseball games and an update on Jimmy Connors in the U.S. Open. And then all of our college football analysts from all across the country will be with you for a halftime blitz. We'll talk about the state of college football right now and then come back to Mike Gottfried and have him talk about this game, which has been exciting so far.
Tennessee's used their size, Mike, in this drive.
Sure have.
Done a great job running the football.
1st and goal inside the 1. 35 seconds left in the half. Tennessee leading Louisville 7-3. Stewart, Hayden, and Campbell are the backs. Hayden outside. Touchdown, Tennessee. Raul Bino had a shot at him, but the Rover back couldn't bring him down before he crossed the goal line.
Tennessee went to the wishbone offense. Here you see the give by Andy Kelly to Aaron Hayden. He starts up inside. A good play by number 24. Buchanan forced him outside.
Johnny Majors reacting to that play call. 82-yard drive on 11 plays. And Wendelboe comes on to add the point after. So Tennessee with a very impressive and time-consuming drive, as Mike Gottfried said, using the power of that offensive line and fresh tailbacks to ram it down the throat of the Louisville Cardinal defense.
Mike, Johnny Majors had some concerns last night when we talked to him about his running back situation, but as you sat there, you could tell he had a lot of pride in those two young tailbacks, Aaron Hayden and James Stewart. And Tennessee fans who are watching this game tonight, and SEC fans, they've got two pretty good running backs that they're going to get their running game going with when they start to enter the SEC phrase.
And they have, both teams do, very difficult schedules this year. Joey Chapman has it teed up, and Boykin is going back inside the 5. Cardinals have acquitted themselves well here in the first half, but they are still down to number 11 Tennessee 14-3. And the goal line stand of Tennessee may be something we may want to remember for a long time about this game. kept it from being a 7-7 tie. Beautiful kick that time by Chapman. Knocks it 8 yards into the end zone. And they'll start from the 20. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Jerry?
Guys, you don't think Johnny Majors was worried a little bit about the offense? When they scored a minute ago, he came along the bench here and went along individually and shook every hand of every offensive lineman, patted him on the head and said, great job, with a giant smile. I think he's breathing a sigh of relief right now about his offense, guys.
Jerry may have been introducing himself. Those guys, most of those guys didn't play for him last year.
Johnny's got a young team. You're right, Mike. If you're Howard Snellenberger right now, this is not a time to take any chances. Run one play, get to halftime, settle your team down, explain to them, hey, they played great. They just had a couple big missed opportunities on offense and a bust on defense.
Dawkins is the single setback. Blom wants to throw. Screen. Dawkins. Nice job of using his blockers, and Dawkins out across the 30 to the 35. Well, if you are going to pass, that's the way to do it. Nice and safe.
Nice safe pass. Can't get picked off. Get yourself a chance to pick up some yardage and try to get down in field goal position.
Gain of 15.
Jeff Brown again setting up the screen. Watch the deep drop. He's looking downfield. All of a sudden, he drops it off to Ralph Dawkins. Set up well.
Had a couple of blockers who were actually behind him when he caught the ball and did a great job of letting them get out in front. Brown 6 out of 8, but only 52 yards. Brom on the run, throws complete to his brother, who gets out of bounds. In Tennessee territory at the 48-yard line. Greg Brom makes the catch.
They're one play away from trying to get in field goal position. They blew a couple timeouts early in the half, which is going to hurt them. But I talked about earlier playing a little safe. Howard Snellenberger is figuring he has to get this crowd back in the ball game. He needs one more throw down to about the 25-yard line, not having a timeout to try to set himself in field goal position.
Wilmsmeyer has a 60-yard leg. He has done it in practice. 4-man rush. Brown has time. Now he's chased, eating up the clock, and gets out of bounds with only 6 seconds left. So now if you throw the ball downfield, you have to throw it to the sideline because they can't stop the clock unless you get the first down, which would stop it.
He has to be thinking as he throws this football, I have to get a first down to set the clock, but then can I get my field goal team? You always work that. No timeouts. You work it in practice. Either he has to try to throw the ball to the end zone as deep as he possibly can, or some kind of out route. You can't throw the ball to the middle now.
Needs about a 15 to 17-yard sideline even to give Wilmsmeyer any kind of a shot. Trips right. And Brom will try to run for it. And they stop him at the 35, and that will end the half. Because they recruited Horning and not him. Tennessee will get the ball to start the second half. Dale Carter, the very dangerous sprinter, got to the outside and got near the 30. Let's go down to the sideline right now, and Jerry Punch.
Guys, an optimistic note in the Louisville locker room at halftime. Defensively, they're pretty well pleased with their play, although they don't want to get beat deep in zone coverage. The free safety has to be very careful, and also they need to watch the fullback. Tennessee using their fullback to their advantage here. Offensively, they have to watch their technique inside the 20-yard line, and they got to be very, very careful not to let Tennessee come in a hurry. They got to change the snap count a little bit and put them sort of out of rhythm. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Jerry, and let's see what if Tennessee starts the second half the way they ended the first with some power football. And they'll try with Hayden on the ground, and he dives forward across the 30 to about the 32. Aaron Hayden, the freshman out of Detroit. First half stats, Louisville actually wins in first downs, has a better passing percentage. But the rushing yards, especially in that last drive for Tennessee, and 75 yards out of their passing yards came on the one play to Pickens.
Big statistic is they dodged the bullet with the 2 turnovers.
2nd and 7. Play action by Kelly. Dumps it off. Hayden out of the backfield. Keeps his feet to midfield. Finally stopped by Ben Sumter, the right outside linebacker, but it's a gain of 18. And Kelly showing some poise there.
The two things that help most is here you have Carl Pickens, who they have to double in cover 2, the 2 deep coverage. Also, when you've got the running game going like they did just for half, that keeps the linebackers, makes them force up. Here's just a dump off to the tailback, Aaron Hayden, and he makes good yardage. This is a big drive for the Louisville defense. They must stop Tennessee.
Hayden, first down from midfield. Got maybe a yard as Louisville really swarmed that time. And Mike Mills, number 56, and Brevin Smith, 52, were over to make the tackle.
Where Tennessee will be difficult to stop now because of the running game success they have. Pass, play action type passes. Because you're holding the linebackers, you're slipping the tight end behind, you're slipping Pickens behind. And Tennessee likes routes that come in about 15 to 18 yards deep.
2nd and 8. Kelly straight back to throw. Looks for a secondary receiver. Loose ball. And Louisville has it at the 47-yard line. Brevin Smith, number 52, out of Orlando, Florida, fell on the loose ball. The 3rd turnover by Tennessee.
Brevin Smith's at the right place at the right time. He's a defensive lineman involved in pass rush right at this point. He comes off. Again, when you play a lot of zone coverage, there's going to be people open, but what you have to be able to do is break on the ball, make the tackle. Brevin Smith recovers the fumble.
Kenneth Campbell, the young fullback, dropped it after he made the catch, and another break for Louisville, but they have to do something with these breaks. Run the option. Boykin. The straight sweep, they've not been able to get outside. They don't get much out of that, but at least the option gives them a better chance.
Well, they've had such good offense here under Howard Snellenberger. They lost quarterback Browning Nago, who graduated. Jeff Brom, last year Howard Snellenberger put him in every game in the 2nd quarter to try to give him some experience. And this is a young offensive team. They have to find a way to get to the end zone. They're going to need a big play. I still believe they need to get to the tight end, Jose Gonzalez.
Tennessee offensive line getting a little work in between series. 2nd and 9, gain of 1 on the last play. Four-man rush. Brom has time. Now he has to scramble. Throws low and behind Dawkins, who was in the pattern out of the backfield. Once again, Mike, a situation where he had a good 3.5 seconds to throw the football and couldn't find anybody.
Howard Snellenberger's got Anthony Seamack at tight end right at this particular point. They kept him in the block. And what I believe happened here is Jeff Brown called an automatic and tried to get the ball to wide receiver, but Tennessee fooled him like the Louisville defense fooled Andy Kelly a little earlier.
Showed blitz and then dropped out of it. And now the Cardinals facing 3rd and 9 at their own 48-yard line. Brom again with good time, steps up, throws it very wide of Randy Wyatt, who was open at the 30-yard line.
Just think of the quarterbacks he's had. Jim Kelly, Vinny Testaverde, Bernie Kosar, Browning Nagle, among the few. He's had a lot of great quarterbacks in his time. Bob Greasy, he compares Jeff Brom to Bob Greasy. And he's just going to have to coach him and bring him along. And that's what it's going to take, time.
So another wasted opportunity by the Cardinals, and Dale Carter is deep to receive Wilkes-Myers' punt, which is